Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about maps. Maps can be used for many things: to share information, to tell someone where to go, to express data or science about something, a record of a trip or a diary, um, a feeling about something, diagrams, many things. So we're going to look at some examples and then I'll tell you about the project we're going to do. Here's an old map of Berkeley, Oakland, and Alameda. And you can see some features of Alameda here, like the sea and the boats and Victorian House. To give you an idea, there's a little detail of the Oakland airport there. This isn't necessarily a map to help you get somewhere, but more an illustrative map or something to give you an idea of a place. So this is a personal map the artist made about the city she was living in, Nanjing. And she's included a lot of the famous buildings and some of the history and her personal commentary on it, either for her own records or to share with others. Here we have somebody's travel diary map. They went to Marrakesh in Morocco and illustrated a lot of the interesting experiences they had, the food they ate, the bazaars and markets, and just interesting aspects of the culture and the patterning that you see on the buildings and everything. So you learn a lot from this map. And also, it's just a good record as an artist who travels. Sometimes that's how you record a place and your experience there. This is a really interesting map. This is a data map, but I would consider it an art piece just because of the amazing colors and lines and how it's all laid out. This shows you the percentage of photos on Flickr at a given time that are from different sources. The red dots are photos from tourists, the blue are from locals, and the yellow are either. But it really shows you sort of the concentration of where the tourists post their pictures versus the locals, and also just creates a really interesting art piece. This is a map that tells you something about a place. You're going to like this map. This maps all the different smells in the city of Singapore on a certain day. So what happened is the artist, Kate McLean, had a team of people and she sent them out to ask people questions. What did they smell? And then they mapped it on the map. So you see the light blue area along the coastline of Singapore there. What do you think they smelled there? Light blue is salt and seawater and salty air. What about this olive brown green here? Dinosaur. I don't know what's going on with that, but that's pretty funny. There's the smell of jasmine, which is a common plant in Singapore. The smell of broccoli and deep dark secrets. Nobody really likes the smell of broccoli. But this map, it created a really neat picture too, I think, with the colors and the patterns. This is sort of a map of the mind. An artist drew this as sort of the feelings of during this time of social distancing and shelter in place. The lagoon of loneliness, the binge watching beach, the sea of quarantine. So it's an emotional map. It tells you a lot of things about how people feel. Snack Mountain right in the middle there. And it shares those feelings with other people. These are imaginary maps. A map doesn't have to be of a real place. The Isle of Social Distancing isn't a real place. That's just an idea in the artist's mind. And these are made up maps with some of the common shapes and colors you would see on maps and the language of maps, like roads and blocks and buildings, but put together in an imaginary way to make your own city or your own just pattern. And the one here on the right is made up of prints of the bottoms of Lego blocks, which is a really cool way to make a map. If you have an ink pad, you could just take Lego blocks and press them on the pad and then on the paper and make your map that way. This is a textile map. The artist here, Emily Fisher, Her mother was losing her sight due to glaucoma, so she decided to quilt maps of local places to them so her mother could feel them and explore them with her fingers. This is a local artist, Linda Gass, and she makes maps concerning the waterways of our area, the San Francisco Bay. And this is a map of a sanitation plant in Milpitas on the edge of the bay in the peninsula. And you can see how close it is to the water and what she's trying to explain to you here, and how precarious it is that our risk of polluting our water source here. And she takes a lot of her quilts to express these ideas so people learn more about their environment and what we can do to change it. This is a map from a book called My Map Book by Sarah Finelli. And this page is the map of my day. So you can see the main character got up, brushed their teeth, they had breakfast, they had a large portion here where they were at school, followed by lunch, some nice time on the playground, home and supper, story time, and dreams. The artist has chosen a map form to give you information about the character's day and the length of certain things, how they felt about things, the use of color, all of that. So there's a lot of different maps in this book. Here's something called a memory map. The artist here drew a map of their walk to school and all the interesting things they passed each day, like the second skateboard hill and the white picket fence, which was good for sticks, and the stone wall, always walk on top. And then the artist's nieces went to the same school like 30 years later, and they added things to the map on their walk to school, like the big rock, good for climbing on, the stinky spot, the tiny orange Fiat. So it's kind of an interesting, combines the artist and his niece's memories. Bet you could do a map like this about your walk to school. And here's a good example of a map that you might make of the favorite things around your neighborhood. Like in the center, the artist's house is right there. And he's mapped a lot of the parks around his house that he really likes, and which ones are good spots for people watching or dog walking. What do you see in here? I see a famous statue in Union Square Park, a skateboarder, a dog, trees, benches, and pigeons, lots of things that I can learn about the artist's neighborhood and what he likes about it. So now what I would like you to do is to make your own map, and it can be one of many things. It can be a map of your walk to school, it can be a map of between your house and your friend's house, it could be an imaginary map, or a map of someplace that you love to go. Or maybe now that we're at home right now, a map of the places you wish you could go, or your 5 favorite places in Alameda. It could be a map of the contents of your refrigerator or your bedroom, anything. So you can use whatever you have at home for this: paper, pencil, paints, crayons, colored pencils, anything you want. You could do a map outside on the sidewalk, a giant map, and use it for cars. You can do anything you want with this. Just map something. Okay, I can't wait to see what you make. So the map I'm going to be doing today is my favorite places in Alameda. And I'm going to start by adding my house here, sort of in the middle. So that's my map of Alameda. I've included my house, a typical sort of Victorian house, the beach and all the things people like to do at the beach, Tucker's and the library, Park Street, of course, the bridge, the estuary and the path along here. Here's a little dragon boat, and here's the Hornet out at Alameda Point, the farmer's market here. Got an AC transit bus, all the little things that to me say Alameda. So that's my quick sort of demo for you, and I can't wait to see what kind of maps you make.